there. Thanks for joining. I'm Ken Sisson with Coldwell Banker Realty in Studio City, California. And today I'm going to talk to you about the topic of appraisals and the appraisal contingency. So let's get started. So what is an appraisal contingency? An appraisal contingency is a clause in the home purchase contract that allows a buyer to walk away from the transaction if the home doesn't appraise for the purchase price. It's completely separate from a financing contingency, which provides protection for the buyer in the case where they're unable to obtain financing. But while these two contingencies may seem to be similar or overlap in some ways, they're actually very different, and they may or may not always be used together. Using contingencies correctly and understanding them completely is the best way for a buyer to protect themselves while under contract and avoid risking the loss of their deposit. Okay, so then what's an appraisal? A home appraisal is an independent, neutral evaluation of the property's value as of a given date. The appraiser's role as a third party is to determine whether the agreed upon sales price is supported by the most recent and most relevant local market data and statistics. In other words, the comparable sales. The actual result or appraisal report itself is the opinion of the appraiser backed up by the facts and the most recent local data available. It's a professional opinion, but it's an opinion nonetheless. Although one might be fairly assured what the appraisal report might look like based on a self-analysis of the local stats and sales, the opinion that counts the most is obviously the appraiser's opinion. And that's unknown until the appraisal report is completed by the appraiser and received by the lender and ultimately the buyer. Let's tackle the great big question now. Should you waive the appraisal contingency? In some cases, waiving the appraisal contingency can make the buyer's offer appear a lot stronger by eliminating an unknown for the seller. However, this decision should always be made carefully based off of a thorough assessment of the risks involved. The unknown factor still looms at stake for the buyer, and the decision to waive an appraisal contingency does put the buyer's deposit at risk. Given that any decision to waive a particular contingency needs to be based on both personal and transactional specifics, there really can be no reasonable blanket advice when it comes to this topic. So we can see that an appraisal contingency is important. In some instances or transactions, it's more important than it is in others, but I did think that nonetheless this was a very important topic to cover, not only in this video, but on my blog as well. You can find a lot more information and helpful tips on my website at kensisson.com. Thanks so much for your time. I hope the information I've shared is helpful. Give me a like, a follow, subscribe, share, or a big thumbs up wherever you can, and I'll look forward to seeing you soon.